This session is about finding ways, when faced with these kinds of dilemmas, to still look for opportunities to move more of the economy to the local level. So my name is Ralph Maima, but I'm the director of the MBA program at Marlborough College Graduate School in Brattleboro. So just a quick introduction of our panelists. First, we have Richard French. Richard is an entrepreneur with 6 The Works bagel and coffee restaurant. Another person I'd like to introduce is Chris Morrow. Chris is with the Northshire Bookstore in Manchester. I'd like to also introduce Paul Ralston. Paul is, I guess you're the founder of Vermont Coffee. And then finally I'd like to introduce Amy Schollenberger. And Amy is now an independent consultant working with her own business.
The one thing I'll tell you about local for us is I find it challenging at a minimum, complicated, time-consuming, and costly. A good portion of our store was built locally. So we've been fairly successful in sourcing local, and for that means we can use it year-round and really have an impact. My definition of local for us is I have to stay in business at the end of the day. If not, I've done nothing for the movement. I'm real clear at the end of the day that I need to stay profitable. So it's not an easy process to source locally and to have it be affordable. Some questions that I have for all of us when we really think about it is, can we really create a predictable, efficient, sophisticated local supply chain that can truly compete with regional or national distributors? Can we help these farmers with their business to be able to warehouse, shipping, invoicing? What's the economic pragmatism, and how does that fit into a local model? So I don't have the answers. I simply have questions and challenges in trying to do it now for a period of time.
Okay, well, it's obviously complicated. But clearly running a business is very, very complicated in this day and age, and adding the local component adds another layer of complexity. You know, I think this all came about when people started looking around, and this is related to the VBSR mission as well, and realized that this relentless pursuit of efficiency, you know, we're trying to increase our standard of living, but maybe we're diminishing our quality of life. So we're constantly making these choices of how we're spending our money and what value we're getting for it. And there is no right answer. There's no definition of local. There's no right or wrong answer. So while local often is more expensive, it's not always more expensive. I tend to think about it in terms of a cascade. If I could buy local and cheap, that's obviously the best. But then you kind of cascade out of there in your decision-making process. All right, at what price can I or will I buy local? If I can't do that, can I buy regional? Can I buy family-owned instead of, you know, a corporate-owned? If I'm buying national, is there a national business that does their business better than their competitor? So it's really a cascade of decision-making questions I'm asking myself related to how I'm spending my money, which is really the core question for me.
If you're in business, how many people want to succeed in your business? And to succeed, how many people think they might need help to succeed? So the only place you're going to get that help is from your network, and the only way you're going to have a network is if you are engaged in the local economy. And the local economy is, I sell to you, I buy from you. You buy from me, I buy from you. If we're going to have a locally inspired and driven economy, it has to be a multi-local. There can't be one locale. I remember from the very early days of VBSR, we had a saying, and that when all the companies involved were very small, even Ben & Jerry's by relative merits. And the saying was, the most socially responsible thing a business can do is to succeed.
One of the things that I've been thinking about is local is where I am. So I'm here today. I was here last night. I ate in a local restaurant. I want to support local businesses. So when I'm traveling around the state or around the region, and this was true on the campaign too, we actually made a rule on the Racine campaign that we would always eat in a locally owned restaurant, and as much as possible we'd eat locally produced food. But I spend a lot of time buying food in restaurants, and that's one way that I support the local economy wherever I am. And when I'm in Montpelier, I still eat out a lot because I want those restaurants to be there. And I have a lot of meetings in restaurants, so and I do that on purpose. I bring people to local businesses and I say, let's buy lunch. Let's keep this business in business. The underlying tenet of all of it is it's really about community, and do I want my community to be successful, and what's my responsibility as a person, as an individual, but also as a business owner, to make sure that my community is successful. Like you were saying, Paul, I want my customers to be successful, but I want all my neighbors to be successful. I want my whole town to be successful. And so I really try to think about that, and what power do I have to make us all more successful?